So I did go look it up for you guys, and Monday is an A day. So essentially next week you're going to go A, B, and then we have a Flex Friday on Friday as well. So good and bad, but the last day of the trimester is going to be a shortened hour. And for us, I'm trying to think of the best way to set it up, but our test is scheduled for that Friday. So one thought I had was to assign it Thursday night. Or I shouldn't say assign it Thursday night, open it up Thursday night. Because I know this test is going to take a lot of you more than 45 minutes. And we're not really supposed to have you take the test past noon on Friday. And so we're kind of stuck in a weird spot just because of the schedule. How would you guys feel about that if I assigned the test Thursday night and then just kind of made Friday like come for attendance only? Because I don't want you to have to try to rush the test. Do you guys have thoughts on that? You could say it out loud or put it in the chat or whatever. Do you guys even care? Nobody's even typing an answer. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about when we come back from spring break? Because they just changed the learning model yesterday. So you guys are going to be on hybrid for 1 week. And then you guys actually have a week and a half spring break. So to me, it wasn't super clear in the messages for you guys, but you have that one solid week off, which was our normal spring break. And then the Monday after is apparently a teacher grading day because of the trimester. And then because they switched learning models, they made Tuesday and Wednesday like teacher prep days, even though we didn't really, we didn't want prep days. Or at least I don't want prep days. Like, I'd rather just get going. So you guys actually don't come back until that Thursday after spring break. So you have a full week and a half off. And then when we come back, the first 4 days of the week, A and B groups will be combined. Virtual is still going to be virtual. And then if there's a 5th day of the week, that will be like a Flex Friday, like right now. So I don't know if you guys have even heard all the different messages, whatever, or if you're confused, but I thought I would take a moment to kind of check in with you if you had any questions on the different learning. I don't know how many times we're changing schedule this year. And you guys might not care, but the older you get, oh my God, is it so hard for me to keep track of different things. All right, so you guys pretty much are blah today. So we'll go with it. 2 people responded about the test. I do appreciate that. Sydney and Isabel. I almost called you Leah, and oh my God, I'm sorry. Out of habit. I guess let's start today's then. So I definitely want to call on you guys quite a bit because today's is totally built off of yesterday's. And it's going to be hard if you don't get it. Once you get it, it's fine. So this is from yesterday, right? So this was the kind of factoring we did yesterday. And the goal from yesterday was to look what multiplies to -9 and then what adds to +8. And so you had to find the 2 numbers that did that. And there kind of was a variety of ways of doing that. Some people kind of like to do this in their head. Others don't. It's just kind of personal preference, right? So some people like to write down the combinations. And so you'd have 1, -9, -1, and 9. And rather than going on, you could stop as soon as you hit the combination that was correct. And so then those would be the two numbers you write in there. Okay. Now, what I want to highlight yesterday, the reason everything worked so slick and so nice is because there wasn't a number there. So if this was regular 1x squared, it works really easy because the only way you could multiply to get x squared is x and x. And that's why all we cared about was this third number. But, like, there can be numbers there, right? So, if there is a number here on the x squared, we can't do it the same way at all. And so here's kind of our first example. Here, I'll just put it right there. So, if you have to factor something with a number on the x squared, so we've got a trinomial and there's a number on the x squared, you have to do a completely different method. And we already know what the answer is going to look like. Like, it's going to have two parentheses and, we fill in the stuff. The first method I'm going to show you, I don't want you to use. The first method I'm going to show you is called guess and check. And you guys are definitely familiar with guess and check, because that basically just means you put in numbers until it works. And you can get an answer that way. I'm going to tell you it's horrible, but it works. Okay, so I'm going to start with a 3 because that's a nice small number. The only way I can get 3 is 1 times 3. So I'm going to put those two numbers in. Now, the first two spots have to multiply to make 6x squared. So that basically has to be 1x and 6x, or 6x and 1x, or 2x and 3x, or 3x and 2x. And so you can definitely see why guess and check is kind of an annoying method, because you're just putting numbers in, you're going to try it. So if I FOILed this, I would get 4x and 6x for the middle terms. And that would make 10x, not 11x. So that tells me 1x and 6x, isn't it? I try 6x, 1x. I multiply those, I get 18x and 1x, and that's not 11, so it's not 6 and 1. Then I try 2 and 3. This would give me 6 and 3, which is 9, so it's not 2x and 3x. And this was just pure chance that was my last combo. This better work. 3x and 3 is 9x, 1 and 2x is 2x. That makes 11x. So basically, if we FOIL out these two parentheses, I would get the right answer. So this is called guess and check. I am never going to make you do guess and check. You are welcome to do it if you like that method. I have always thought it was a terrible plan to just throw numbers in until it works. So I'm a person that likes to do something that will be guaranteed to work. So here's the method, and I'm going to have you write down the steps in a little bit. I'm just going to show you how it works first. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the two outside numbers. And I get 18. Positive 18. Then I'm going to look at the factors of 18. 2 and 9, 3 and 6, 4, 5, 6. That's it. I'm going to find the pair that makes 11. So 2 and 9. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replace 11x with 2x and 9x. Doesn't matter the order you write them. I'm going to replace this middle term with these two numbers that we just figured out. And then from this step, I'm going to do factor by grouping, which we learned 2 days ago, I believe. So I'm going to look at the first half. The first half has a 2 going into both numbers. They each have an x. So then I would divide by 2x. I'd get 3 single x. 2x divided by 2x is 1. 9x and 3 each have a 3 going into them. No x's, because that one doesn't have an x. So then I would get 3x and 1. And then the first half and second half, each have the same info. So then that's called a greatest common factor. I write that first. Second parentheses, I write what they don't have in common, which is 2x and 3. And then this is the same answer we figured out from guess and check. Honestly, it probably takes a little bit longer to figure out this way than guess and check, but most students prefer this method because it works every single time on every single problem. And so that's kind of what we're going to approach today. I didn't expect you guys to understand it on the first one. Let me copy and paste these and move them up. Here are the steps. Actually, I don't know why I'm copying and pasting. And I will give you guys a couple minutes to write these down. If you want me to translate something, I can. Oh, it looks like I wrote these to go with the yellow one below. There we go. Okay, but 100% write these steps down, because this method is not bad once you get these steps down. It's a lot of steps. Oh, this is a good time to look to see. It looks like a couple of people left. Ben is here. Ella is here. Sadie is here. Gracie is here. Caroline is not. AJ is here. Sydney is here. Callie is not. Okay. Okay, does anybody need more time to write down those steps? Should I start the problem with you? Okay, I'll wait. Why don't you just let me know when you guys are done? And that'll work. Yeah, that's not, I can't see you guys write, so it's hard to judge. Most people do what Sophie does and put the camera on the top of their head. So usually all I see is the ceiling, when I see anything. Which, in fairness, number one, I don't care. I know some teachers do. Two, it's really annoying when the camera on your Chromebook, you can't like rotate it or move it. It's actually kind of weird how teachers are all over the place on the cameras. We were told you're supposed to have them on, but I also do get that one, slows down your internet a lot, and I don't think a lot of people put that part together. I would rather you be able to hear me clearly. Watching me isn't as big a deal because you can just the screen will catch up. But being able to hear me clearly is by far the most important thing. And I can't see you when I'm teaching anyway, so. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, AJ. Well, like me, like all three of my kids are on their computer doing virtual school too, so it's kind of. I had to upgrade my internet a lot just so all of us could do our schooling. Let's see. Sophie, do you need more time yet? Okay, perfect. Then we'll get started then. Okay, so when I'm looking at this and I'm asked to factor, I guess the way that I would approach this, they don't have anything in common, okay? So I'll get you guys prepped for next week, because that's the first thing we check. We check to see if they have a greatest common factor. They don't. Okay, so then I can't factor by greatest common factor. Then the next thing I check is how many terms are there. Because remember, if there's 4 terms, you split it in half to do factor by grouping. This has 3 terms, and there's a number on the front. So it requires us... Actually, some of you probably came from Lake Junior High, didn't you, last year? You might have had Taz. Taz used to teach at Eastridge. And he's very black and white, rigid, If you had him, we like to make fun of him for it. But he would always call yesterday's 3-term easy. Today, 3-term hard. So I usually I'll refer to these ones with the numbers as 3-term hard. So our first step, multiply the 2 outside numbers. I would get negative 24. And I know technically it's negative 24x squared. I'm not going to worry about those details. Okay, so our product is negative 24. I'm going to find the factors of negative 24 that add up to negative 2. Okay, so this is the annoying part. 2, negative 12, negative 2, 12. 3, negative 8, negative 3, 8, 24 has so many of them. 4, negative 6, and negative 4, 6, and that's all of them. Negative 2 comes from 4, negative 6. Okay, so instead of writing negative 2x, I'm going to write 4x and negative 6x. Positive 4x, negative 6x. If I felt like writing the negative 6 first, go for it. It still works out. So 4 terms that I'm trying to factor, I split in half. First half, they have no numbers in common, but they each have an x. Okay, so that would give me 3 single x, 4 no x. Second half, 2 goes into both of them. And then actually, because the first one is negative, I'll usually factor out a negative. Because I want that first one to be positive so it matches up with over here. So I'm going to factor out negative 2. And that's pretty normal. So negative 6 divided by negative 2 is positive 3 single x. Negative 8 divided by negative 2 is positive 4. Okay, good. I know I did this right because these parentheses are the same. So that means I did it right. Things are looking good. I put the same information first. I put the information that is the uncommon information, or what they don't have in common, in the second one, the x and the minus 2. And then this is factored. 100%, this is a slow method, but it works every time. If you guys will notice on your homework, I did not assign many problems because these go slow. How about questions on the one I just put up there? The next problem, I'm going to start having you guys try to tell me what to do a little bit. So is there a step up there that maybe you got lost on that you just don't know why I wrote something? Before I have us try one together, could you guys give me a quick indication where you're at, 0 to 5? I'm 100% expecting low, but I just really kind of wanted to know. Is this, so this feels like it's making sense to you. I like that. I'll be honest, I'm kind of shocked. Usually this doesn't go over that well the first time you see it. I like to see that, so, let's go with it. Oh, shoot. There we go. Ella, can you give me the first step? Unless you don't want to do it, because I probably might have called on you yesterday or something. I don't know. Actually, I'm pretty sure I called on everybody. Yeah, I think I called on everybody. If you know how to do the first step, could you tell me? If not, could you call on somebody else? I'm okay with either, just whatever. Do you remember what to do first? Yeah? You can. That's fine. Sophie. Sophie, do you remember what to do first? Good. Good, good. So the 9 and the 4 I'm going to multiply. So I got 36. Sydney, where do I go from there? Okay. So the factors of 36, and they have to come to negative 15, which means my factors have to be negative. So it's either going to be all positive or all negative, and because it's negative 15, it's all negatives. So I'm not even going to write the positive ones. Negative 2, negative 18, negative 3, negative 12. And you can keep going if you want. Oh, shoot. Otherwise, I basically saw the correct pair right here. Okay. This next step is the one that most people forget. And that's why I want to make sure to call somebody. Ben? What do I do next once I figure out the right pair? Okay. How about, did you write down the steps? Let's go to number 4. Step number 4. Replace the middle number with your pair. Okay, the middle number was the negative 15. So instead of negative 15, I'm going to put negative 3 and 12. Okay. Desmond, I replaced the middle number with 2. Okay, good. So I split it in half, yep. Can you see what that is? Is that easy enough to just kind of do off the top of your head, or do you want me to write stuff down? Good. So they both have 3 and they both have a single x. Okay, good. Okay, how about the second half, Desmond? It is perfect. How come I'm going to take out negative 4? But it is 4. I'm going to take out negative 4 to make this turn positive so that it matches this one. So then this is going to become positive 3x minus 1, because 4 divided by negative 4. Good. And then the last step, Sadie, what's the last step? Excellent. I bet some people wrote it the other way, but it doesn't matter. So, perfect. Those are the 2 factors. Okay, good. I mean, it definitely is going to take you guys some practice to get these steps down. Or I could leave the problem up with forgetting to write all of the work. Just pretend you guys don't see me then. I was hoping you could try this one on your own. Try on your own beginning to end, because that's going to be helpful to know what steps you may get stuck on. And I've got the 7 steps right here. Let me try to move the screen better. There. See if you can factor this one. Alex, your computer doesn't want to stay muted. Today is vaccine day for a lot of the teachers at Eastridge. I finally got my name called in the lottery, so I get to go get my shot. Everett Park. Let's hope I'm not feeling sick. Do I have to get it? I don't have to get it, no, AJ, but I want to get it. That was the whole reason I haven't been able to be at school. Oh, I didn't even notice this one had N's in it. Yes, you would do this problem exactly the same with an N instead of an X. If it confuses you with N's, I've had some students just write an X instead and then switch things up. Yes, AJ, I have a couple autoimmune diseases, and the way they treat autoimmune diseases is they shut down your immune system. So I kind of need the vaccine to not keel over. So that's why I haven't been at school. And in fact, I probably won't be at school for a little bit when you guys go to third trimester because I get my second shot. My second vaccine is March 26th, I think. So it's like a week after you guys come back. Okay, so this is going to be our last problem of the day. I'm pretty sure most of you are not done. But to kind of conserve some of your time, Jean, what's the first step we should do? Perfect. So multiply the outside numbers 3 and 4, and I get 12. Okay, nice. Thank you. Nora, how about after we figure out the 12? Okay, so find the factors of 12. It looks like everything's positive up here, so I'm just going to write the positive ones. 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and that's it. Okay. Sydney, how about the next step? Perfect, so that was step 3. So I've got 3n squared plus 2n plus 6n, and I could write them the other way around if I wanted to. Okay, good, good, did that one. Well, actually, I guess that was step 4. Logan, have I called on you? I don't think so. What? Jeez, Louis. What would we do next, Logan? And if you're not sure, that's fine too. Okay, Isabella, how about you? What would you do next? Yes. Okay, so factor out. Yep. So they both have in common 1n. Yep. Okay, good. So 3 single n, 2 no n's. Good. Second. Oh, go ahead. No. Yeah. Yep. Correct. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay, Logan. I just wasn't sure if you could hear me or not. Second half, they each have a 2 going into them. And the second one doesn't have a letter, so they can't have that in common. So I cut them both in half. 3n and 2, which is a good sign. This is kind of what I always check for to make sure things are working out, because that doesn't always happen. Last step, Gracie. What would be our last step? Yep. I think you meant 2 here. You said a 3, but Correct. Very good. Okay. I will tell you guys, every question today is going to be done the exact same way. The purpose of the practice of this is just to get these steps down, because it's not something that's going to come natural, and it's part of the reason I like you guys to write down the notes is because then when we get to the test, you can look these up. I mean, it's really hard to remember 7 steps. I mean, I'm sure some of you will, but it's hard. So I am done for today. I knew that today wouldn't go very fast. So it's not like we have a ton of time for you to do your homework, but do know that your homework, I think, is only like 7 questions. It's not meant to take you a long time. It's meant to practice this one type. So I appreciate you guys coming today. On Monday, I'm still teaching it virtually, so I have no idea what room or teacher you're going to if you're in school on Monday, but it'll still be taught over Zoom. So I don't know. Any kind of questions? All right, you guys are so silent today. Is it because the sun's not shining? Okay, well, you guys have a good weekend. I will talk to you on Monday. Thanks. Yep, you bet. Yeah.